Tiger Talk, episode 10. We've hit the double digits. I thought for sure we were going to get canceled there a couple of weeks, but our ratings are good. The network's happy with us, and we're continuing on with Tiger Talk.
And we have 100 subscribers.
Yes, we did finally cross 100 subscribers, so keep subscribing and sharing the link. And we even have a YouTube comment that I would like to read.
Oh my goodness.
Because, I hate to start the show off with controversy, and believe me, we're going to get to our guests. But this Ken guy says, I just wanted to say I really enjoyed Tiger Talk with Becca Moore in all caps and Scott Ryan in all lower caps. Now, what is that? He says, we love the Tigers, and I'm a weekly listener watcher. Love the Moors and what they have done and continue to do for our young men, team, and the town. Again, still all about you guys. Nate, exclamation point. It's nice to hear from you outside of the pre-post game atmosphere type interviews. At home with Coach Moore was fun and great, but this show is so much better. I swear though, and this is libel, I may be doing a lawsuit. I swear I saw Scott coming down from section 4 last week. Calling me out. Listen, I'm section 14 or die.
But you moved, didn't you? I think I saw you.
This is some lie that people are telling. It's section 4. Get out of here, people. Look at this. All the praise for Becca Moore and Scott Ryan. I can't believe this. That is a true comment from some Kenneth on there. So I guess he's a weekly listener.
We love
Remember,
you, Ken.
you host.
We love you.
So
we
go
love
ahead, Becca. Go ahead and introduce our guest, Becca Moore.
So as always, we have the amazing Coach Nate Moore. I didn't say Nathaniel.
Go Tigers.
And then we have 2 seniors. You're going to introduce yourself, your number, position, and what's the other thing?
They know the drill.
You know the drill.
Jaden, Welch. You said a number?
Yeah.
Number 1 and a cornerback. Go Tigers.
Task unit.
Task unit, Grunder.
I thought you said they knew.
Well, Jaden's getting fired.
I'm Michael Mercurio, number 77. I'm a senior, task unit Sproul. Here we go to next week.
Mike should go first.
All right, and we have our first repeat guest. This is exciting. How's your life changed after being a guest on Tiger Talk? Were you signing autographs all the time? Were people throwing things at you? And you're our second guest back. Let us know.
Yeah, I had to sign a couple of autographs, some babies' foreheads and stuff like that.
Did you see him in the latest video? So we have a videographer that puts out, Coach Moore puts out a video each week, and I really he was in one of the videos, and there's a lot of kids in the videos, but I just thought the black and it was a cool video concept this week. I thought it was really cool. So if you haven't seen that, check out Coach Moore's Twitter. He puts out one every week. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I love those hype videos. I think they're fun.
Yeah.
So let's talk about last week's game. Why don't each of the players tell us their review of the game and what stood out for them?
I honestly thought last week's game was kind of boring. I didn't really feel as much energy as I usually do in the games. I don't know. It just felt a little off to me. But it could have been just because of the senior night and it was just a different type of. I don't really know.
Does that do you think that changes? I guess because it just gets you out of your rhythm.
Yeah,
maybe?
I feel like my focus wasn't in the same spot as it usually is.
Yeah.
It just
Felt off.
Yeah.
I personally, for me, I thought I was locked in the whole time. Even the senior thing, it was just another thing you have to do. Get that done, taken care of, go back in. I think that second half, for everyone, it felt flat. I can't tell you why. I can't place my finger on it. It just felt flat, both offense and defense. And even the sideline. Just it felt flat, and you can tell on the field that it was starting to die down a little bit. Maybe it was because it was senior night. I'm not sure.
What do you do like when it starts getting flat? I mean, you're going into week 9 and then your big week 10. How do you turn that around? Because that can kind of plague you going in.
It's at least for me, it's talking to those guys in those trenches, being like one of the older guys, knowing how it is, going through it, have been there last year, and just talking to them, explaining to them that this isn't like, it's not a time to be satisfied and to start to go downhill. This is a time where we need to start going up and peak at that week 16 and keep driving forward and not being satisfied with where we were at. Because we've had a couple good weeks up front, but that it doesn't really mean anything until we're in that week 16 and finish that game. So explaining to those guys.
Yeah. What do you do? Because he's talking about the trenches, so you're outside the trenches.
Well, so on defense, like, I don't know how their vibe is, but our vibe on defense is just like everybody just there to have fun, like, but in a way of like getting the job done at the same time. So,
Hackenbrack's fun?
No.
Oh, okay.
So like when we're all on the field and it's just us, it's like we know what we gotta do, and after we do it.
Because I've seen him not be fun on the sidelines.
Oh yeah.
I'm serious. Talking about being fun. I don't think it's. Does it help when you're in the game? I always wondered this, like, because sometimes you're closer to the sidelines that we're on. When they yell run, pass, what's the other one? Ball. Can you hear that?
Only time I can hear is when I'm on our sideline.
Yeah.
When I'm on the other side of that, I can't hear.
You can't hear it? I just wondered. Does it help?
Oh yeah, it does. But the St. Ed's game, I couldn't hear it all.
It was loud.
Couldn't hear anything.
Yeah. But it does help, so that's why you guys do it. Makes
So,
sense.
Coach, what do you think on senior night? You're out there to greet each player and their family, and you've been with these kids maybe their whole high school career, certainly for a lot of them. What goes through your mind when you're shaking their hands?
I try not to think about it, honestly. Senior night for us is really mostly about the parents. The parents have made a lot of sacrifices, and it's good to stop and recognize them, and we're recognizing our guys too, kind of. But we're far from the end of our season. At least that's the plan. So I mean, it's this weird thing where you're starting to feel some type of finality, but you're not really there. So it's really odd. It's really odd. I mean, I could understand if you're, if all you're doing is playing 10 games or, I don't know, that you're not very good. That maybe senior night's a big deal. But for us, it's just not, so I really try not to think about it and get on to the game, take care of business.
Well, I never looked at it as it was the end of the season. I always look at it as it's the end of your home games, because even the McKinley game is not a normal home game. And then the 2 playoff games, there's certain things you can't do that you can do in the regular season. So you're hosting it, but it's not technically a home game.
Yeah, well, I mean,
So
you're technically celebrating the career of the seniors, which is at the end of the season, which is you may tend to think about you may tend to look back on where you've been and take stock of your career or whatnot, but all that stuff is for after the season. Those are not emotions or thoughts that we want to have during the season. So it's it's something I could do without Scott, to be
all right,
honest.
I'll tell you what, we're gonna put it in. We're gonna Take it out next year. Juniors, you're not having a senior night next year. Nate canceled it. Hope you're happy. For the two players, what did your parents think of the night?
They just kept telling me how cold they were. And wondering if they were in the right spot or not.
My mom was trying not to cry. She was telling me that. I think my dad just wanted to see the football game.
Yeah.
But it was cool. It was cool going out there and shaking Coach Moore's hand and lining up for a nice picture with the family.
He's an only child, I just want to add. So that's why Jade's parents weren't crying, because, Jade's parents weren't crying because he's not an only child. They've done it before. Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll see in a couple years how Becca does on senior night when Eli's going through.
I've already done 2. I've already done it twice. Because we had Thayer and Terrence. So I've done senior night twice.
Oh,
I
that's
actually
true.
enjoy watching my kids grow up. Some people want their kids to stay little. Like, I have, really enjoyed this process of watching Eli turn into a young man, watching, Thayer go along with his life, and Terrence, doing well at Pitt and making good grades and for me, and Ella, as she's, she won't play football probably. Who knows what she'll do, but he says, but I enjoy the process of my kids growing up and celebrating it. So for me, I don't see senior night as seniors, they're 12th graders. I've watched Mikey grow up, for most since we've been here. So I've seen him do musical and all the stuff he's done. So it makes me excited to see what he does when he graduates. And the same with Jaden. What do you guys do when you graduate? Where do you go and where do you come back? So I actually enjoy the process. Maybe I would get a little teary-eyed, but it's more of joy than it is of sadness. I think that's how I see it.
Of course.
And as a coach's wife, I don't know, sometimes I actually get teary more for, you're watching those guys go on to the next, so you're losing a little bit of control. You've helped those guys along in high school, so you got to hope that everything you've done and instilled in them, and that they know that you can always call them, or they can always call you, or you're always there for them. So I guess there's a little bit of that as a coach's wife. Every senior group has meant something special. I really, really have enjoyed every senior group that we have. I really love this senior group. I like how they all seem to get along. They seem to have fun, and there's a lot of different characters involved in the team, so it has been fun for me to watch that as a coach's wife.
That makes sense. What musical were you in, Mike?
I've been in 6 different productions. I started as a 6th grader. My first one was Elf, Beauty and the Beast. We did Aladdin, Cinderella, Annie, and Shrek. Is that 5?
Yeah.
5, and then my 6th one will be after the season this year. And I don't know what it's going to be this year, and I've been all starring roles in all those productions.
And is that with Aaron Sullivan?
The ones at middle school, the ones from 6th grade through 8th were with Aaron, and then.
So that's my cousin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Aaron's my cousin.
Yeah, I remember him in
not-
Aladdin. He was really good. He played the genie in Aladdin. He was awesome.
For the first time, I'm actually excited for a pick from his song at the end of it.
It's been
Finally,
better
someone speaking my language, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So this week's game might be some confusing to some of the people. Why don't you, Coach, walk us through what's going on this Friday night?
Yeah, so here's what's going on, Scott, is we're playing a JV game Friday night against Canada Prep. It's a varsity team out of Ontario, Canada. But it's our JV team with an asterisk. It's really, you would probably call it like a varsity B team. So there'll be some twos, some non-starting seniors that'll play in that game, and then some of our guys that play exclusively in the JV games also. But it'll really be a mix. It's really like a varsity B game, but it's on the JV schedule. We didn't want to carry those Harbin implications with a game like that on a varsity schedule. And so,
I don't know what Harbin implications are. I don't know what that means.
Computer points.
Oh, can you just say computer points? Then people understand.
No, it's the hard. He's speaking correctly. He's speaking our language.
There's no
Becca.
woman that would understand that.
I disagree.
He didn't know what it meant. I just heard him whisper. He did not know what it meant either. I just want you to know.
He doesn't worry about computer points because the coach tells them all year, don't look at the computer points. We don't care about that. One game at a time.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
do a great thing where a lot of people hire me out to Massillon to open car dealerships and things.
Well, it really doesn't matter so much anymore with everybody making the playoffs. Essentially, it's
I know. I used to get up at like 2 a.m. Friday night and look at the computer points because you're nervous and that point, are we going to make it or not? And all that's
used to
gone.
be a big deal.
Now who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, I miss that.
But we still,
And really-
we still want as high a seed as possible. So we didn't want to carry that game on our varsity schedule, and we don't have to, so we didn't. So the varsity is going to show a bye week, but it's essentially a varsity B game on our JV schedule.
Who's the coach?
I'm still going to be the coach, but Bo Grunder, Hall of Famer, is our JV head coach, and he'll probably be the acting head coach. And our JV coordinators are going to be calling the plays. I mean, it'll feel a lot like a JV game from that standpoint, but that'll probably be the only thing. I mean, the band will be there, the cheerleaders are going to be there. I know all our season ticket holders are going to be there. I know they're going to show up, and probably some more people other than that. I think we'll have 4,000 or so people there. It'll
You should come. It'll be nice for them.
It'll be a great experience for those kids to run out of the tunnel on Friday night and give everybody a nice preview of the up and comers. And Scott, there used to be a tradition of playing games like this. Some odd 60 years ago, when we had a varsity team, a JV team, and a sophomore team, and often our JV team that was comprised mostly of juniors would play the varsity team of another school. So this is not uncharted territory. We're happy to bring back that tradition, and I can't wait to see our junior varsity take the field Friday night.
Oh yeah.
So what will
Yeah.
you guys do? Yeah. So what will you guys do?
During the week, I'll be playing scout team for them, getting them.
Oh, they're playing
Yeah.
scout
We'll be
team.
helping prepare for them.
So what is that like? Because we try to honor each week, the scout team player of the week. Could a varsity player get scout team player of the week this week?
Sure.
How bizarre, but how exciting. Ooh, you could get scout team player of the week. Like, what's that like though? I mean, tell me what's the difference?
The difference of
Like being a scout team player versus like you're prepping for the game.
I already semi-play a little bit of scout offense for
Yeah.
the defense, but I love scout team. I love those young guys out there, helping them improve, teaching both offense and helping out some of the defense, because I used to play a little bit of defense my freshman year, but I love playing scout team. It's a lot of fun, and just being there for those guys, especially with this week with those young guys, helping prepare with them. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Do you ever, like Will Trell said that he knows that Kamani is just gonna go hard on purpose. Do you ever, like a kid ever, you don't have to say his name, but do you ever like a kid get to the line, you're like, oh, I'm going hard on this kid?
Kimani, he's great. When he plays scout D for the varsity offense, he's wonderful. He's great. He's one of those guys. I wish that he would get more reps, but certain circumstances. But he's gonna be something, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
That's awesome. What do you think about playing scout player?
Like Mike said, sometimes I go on scout defense when they're on offense, just so I can get like Ardell and all the other receivers better, and also get myself better, because it's like more competition, and it's also Ardell, so it's gonna be like
Who's
I'm
faster?
not gonna be going against anybody else like Ardell.
Who's
in games.
faster? You or Ardell?
Ardell.
Ardell's faster.
Because of them legs,
Me.
he got them long legs. Once he gets going, he gets going.
It's so fun.
I got quick bursts.
Yeah. Who was the scout team players of the week last week? Who were the two? You remember?
Wasn't Kimani one?
I think it was Kimani.
It
I
was
think
Kimani.
Kimani was one, yeah. I don't remember who the other one was.
So I'll have to look that up because they're
Yeah.
there are Stark Media and Tiger Store sponsored Scout Team Players of the Week, and this week it may be reversed, and we may have a varsity Scout Team Player of the Week, which would be pretty cool. But I love it that you guys are getting that experience and seeing what it's like to do that and giving those young guys that experience. That's awesome.
So we're going to ask people at home if they want to send us a Massillon McKinley memory, to send it in, that you can video yourself on your phone, and I know Stark Media will love to edit all those in. They'll love all that work. Give Stark Media work. They want that. So if you have, we don't need 10-minute Massillon McKinley memories. Just like, let's say, a minute. And we'll try to spread them out. You can email them to us at TigerTalk14. Why is it 14, Becca?
I think because you sit in section 14.
Good section. TigerTalk14@gmail.com. Send us your stories. I would like to hear from the players. What is your strongest Massillon McKinley memory?
Mine is probably seeing Jaden Ballard dunk on this one dude at McKinley. I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. Who was it? Was it Ryan's brother? Or was it Dean? It was either, I think it was Dean. When we were home, yeah.
And he stood over.
Dean Clark.
Oh, yeah.
He
Those
hit.
are my two favorite
He hit
players.
him and just stood over. Yeah.
Textbook tackle.
Yeah.
It was actually last year. We came out. I believe it was the third quarter, and we had scored, and our offensive line coach Mays was losing it on the sideline. And I had never seen Coach Mazer get like that, and it was one of the funniest things I remember from that, and it was. I love that game.
Excited?
Yeah, he was excited and he was really into it because we were down at halftime and we come out and we score, and he was excited. Usually he's a mostly calm individual that has it collected, but he let it all loose after that touchdown, and it was hilarious watching that.
Were
take
either
place.
of you guys nervous at halftime last year? We were down by, if I remember, 6 points. I feel like it wasn't 7, but it was whatever, a score.
It was 13-7.
Yeah, so were either of you guys nervous?
I was, only because I've lost to McKinley before. I knew how that felt. So I was like, we have to do something because I do not want that feeling again.
I was not. Sorry, you still going?
No.
That's my bad. I was not nervous. I saw how the line was, and we were all like ready to punch it in because of how the last drive had went. We saw what we needed to fix. We went in halftime. We knew what we had to do, and it's just excitement and energy coming back out with even more.
I think for me, like, my favorite memory was when Aiden Longwell was quarterback, and I think we were down, but I think that was when you moved Andrew Wilson-Lamp to defense, and McKinley was about to score, and Andrew Wilson-Lamp like went up and just knocked the ball out so that McKinley wouldn't score, and then Aiden takes the field and throws that dunk to Jaden Ballard, because I was on the sidelines like, oh my gosh, I don't know if we're gonna pull this off, and our assistant superintendent was like, you have little faith, and then Jaden Ballard just goes. So it's that and getting off the bus. I love playing here, but I enjoy actually playing over there and coming back and watching and getting off the bus and being downtown after a win.
I never played an actual home game, so.
Yeah, well, you'll
That's
experience
another
that.
way.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite? What's your favorite? Ooh, a little smirk.
I've got a lot of good memories of that game. I mean, my favorite Massillon McKinley game was 2017 because I think the general consensus was we were going to lose that game by about 40. McKinley had been undefeated. Then they lost to Perry week 9, but they had been undefeated to that point, and killing everybody. And we had struggled a lot, and that was our first year that we went to the we went to the state semis 2017. Really had no business being there. I mean, we were punching above our weight, to be honest. But it was a scrappy group, man. Like, and with an up-and-coming junior class that was going to be really good. We went out there and won by 1 point, 16-15, against a really good McKinley team that everybody thought was going to, smoke us. Jameer Thomas, school record, 42 carries in a game. It's child abuse almost. 42 carries in that game. Sophomore quarterback Jaden Longwell throwing the game-winning touchdown to Trayvon Morgan on a play that all of us. Well, first of all, I don't think we'd run that. I don't think we'd run that combination before. We'd messed around with an RPO, with a fade, and with a slant. I don't think we'd put them together. And it was like 4th and 6. Mm-hmm. It's like 4th and 6. Field goal didn't do us any good. It was like 4th and 6 on the 6-yard line. Field goal didn't do us any good. It was mandatory, max aggression, go for it. And took a timeout to think it over. And I think some combination of Trox, Miller, and Mazer came up with that there on the sideline. I think we'd seen it done before, but I don't think we'd ever repped it. And it was a slant by number 1, it was Austin Kutcher, and a fade by number 2, it was Trayvon Morgan. And Austin Kutcher was our number 1 receiver by far. I mean, I think he's second. I think it's second all time single season receptions that year. And it was really good. And we thought that we were gonna essentially pick the corner, and he was gonna clear. So we're getting man coverage. He was gonna clear underneath the fade. We were just trying to do a rub route for Kutch, basically. And we told our sophomore quarterback, Jaden Longwell, that is such that it's probably going to be Kutcher. That's what we're trying to do here, and he's going to rub underneath the fade route. And so we go out there and we run the play, and Jaden drops back, and Kutcher rubs underneath Trayvon Morgan, and both the corner and the safety fall off onto Kutch. And a lot of sophomore quarterbacks would have still thrown that ball like we essentially told him to do, but not Longwell. He comes off the slant and throws a fade to Trayvon Morgan for a touchdown, and that wasn't it wasn't a walk off. We still had some work to do, but that ended up being the points we needed to win the ball game, and that one was pretty special.
Do you remember every game you coached in?
I doubt it.
I mean, that was pretty specific. Like, good for you. That was a lot. I kind of remember that play, like as you went through it, but I that's impressive that you remember that.
Well, there's points like that are definitely burned into your memory. I could probably walk through just about every Massillon McKinley game. I could do that. But, there's a lot of games that I've forgotten about, I'm sure.
I remember you told us that.
Yeah. So the varsity will have a week off, but your varsity B JV will be playing. And did you review the songs, Scott? I'm
I did. So Mikey, start thinking. You're going to give me your hype song that you listen to before you're going to go out and play a football game. What song really is going to hype you up? And then I'm going to listen to it this week. I've been listening to them all year. I'm assuming this means we're done if we have a repeat. Do we have all the seniors?
Oh, you don't want to listen to my new one? I got a good new one.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's a little cheating, but let me ask the coach, do we have 2 new players next week, or will they be repeats?
No, Mike was the last one that hadn't gone. So we're starting back at the top.
Then I think I'm going to announce my winner next week. I was going to do it the next week unless you want, well, we'll do this later. Anyway, so I'm going to ask you for a hype song here, Mike, but first I got to review last week's. Marcus Moore picked Trophies by Drake. Great lyrics, was about winning a trophy. And I have to say, out of all the rappers that I've listened to, Drake is my favorite. I feel like Drake has, I don't know if I'm supposed to like Drake or not, but I gotta say, this side Drake, this side Lil Wayne. And then Will Trell had Outside of America. And I kind of like that one too. It was a little political. It had a little political side to it. It made me really want to get in a discussion with Will Trell. Had a nice beat. The last couple weeks, this is getting harder and harder. We're getting down. I'm not giving my pick yet, but I think I'm going to announce it next week on the McKinley show. I like the idea. The ratings.
There's a Krause's pizza on the line. A Krause's pizza on the line.
Yeah, winner does get a Krause's pizza. And by the way, Krause's, what are you doing? Where's our sponsor? We're halfway through the season. You want to be here while we bring this home. Okay, Mike, give me your hype song that I will be listening to this week before the Canada game.
Okay, well, just so you know, I'm a big wrestling fan, so it's called The Game. It's by Motorhead.
The Game by Motorhead.
It's a Triple H theme song.
Do you know who Triple H is?
Oh, I loved him when he was Double H. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you, I don't think you should get to pick a second song. But I'm going to let you because your song was horrible.
I heard.
What did you pick?
Okay, your song was so bad
What up,
that you might as well get to pick another one.
Alright, yeah. Our All-Star by Smash Mouth.
Oh.
Oh, look at him. He's trying to play my age.
Well, no, whoa. I like it.
He's going after that pizza.
I mean,
He's coming for the
Yeah.
pizza. Did you see his
I
face?
mean-
He was like, "What? I know this song."
I mean, I actually saw Smash Mouth in concert, but
I just watched
so
Shrek,
you're trying to get into my age, but it's not going to work because Becca also gets to approve the winning song as well. It won't
I have no idea who Smash
I'm-
Mouth is.
It's
You
from
know
Shrek.
who Smash Mouth
Shrek.
is.
You
I
know
do
it
not.
if you heard it.
Okay,
It's
maybe
in
I know if I
Shrek.
heard it. Okay.
Sing it,
Because
Welch.
you've seen Shrek. I mean, you're sitting by Shrek and you're going to diss his song? Come on.
Sorry.
Go something like.
Let's hear it.
Let's hear it.
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't really know the lyrics. I
I
just
don't know.
I just know the rhythm to
He
it.
just knows the rhythm. He doesn't know the
I mean, I know
He just
most
not-
of the lyrics.
it's-
Well, I just know
Honestly,
All-Star.
it's the only
Yeah.
song he knew that an old dude might know.
You'd be surprised. I listen to a lot of old
He
music.
threw that out because he heard there was a Krause's pizza. But you know, I've been thinking all week long, Coach, about Will Trell saying he never had a Krause's pizza, and I'm putting that on you. I feel like get the boy a Krause's
I
pizza.
think he does. He definitely
I'll
has.
take that. I'll take that.
He said he hasn't.
I think he had because he's been at my house and ate pizza before. So
He maybe didn't realize.
So he
it was
doesn't
Krause.
remember. Whoa, wait a minute. Let's say this again. So he had it and he doesn't remember it?
Yeah, so something's wrong with this.
Maybe he didn't
Maybe.
know.
Maybe.
Maybe he didn't know that it was Krause's. Maybe he thought it was just some.
But Trell also is weird when it comes to food. So
Yeah.
Trell's really into broccoli and things like that.
yeah.
Well, that's good, but
Yeah, it's
also
really good.
you have Krause's pizza.
Salad. Fish
Body's a
eggs
temple.
and-
You know.
Yeah.
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 Well, I agree, and I would say the ultimate altar in Massillon goes through Krause's. But if he's had it and he doesn't remember, then I say heck with him.
He is not.
I'll ask.
You know,
Okay.
if Krause's isn't going to come through with a sponsorship, maybe you should give out a pizza oven pizza.
Well, I mean, I can't go against I almost wore my Krause's T-shirt tonight.
Oh my
And I
God.
thought, no, not until they sponsor us. Because I got a Krause's T-shirt. You better believe it. Okay, so next week is our big McKinley week. We want to hear from you guys. Send us your stories. Put them on video because TJ loves to edit that kind of stuff into this show. That's what he wants to do with his time. Oh, and our other big announcement, the show's going to start coming out on Thursday because 2 people recognized me at the game last night. I don't know how many people recognized you, Becca, but 2 people recognized me at the game last week. And they both told me they want the show to come out on Thursday. They don't have enough time to watch it on Friday. So starting this week, this very show is coming out Thursday morning, so you'll have all day Thursday and Friday to watch it this week and Saturday, but during playoffs. So that is what I've got. Do you have any other announcements or anything, Becca?
No, just get ready because it's going to be busy after this Friday.
That's for sure. It's Christmas time in Massillon. It's Massillon McKinley week coming up, but we'll get through this. So.
Yeah. And so until next time, TIG.
ERS.
The entrepreneurial spirit runs strong at Simon Says Promotions. That's why if you've seen us everywhere in downtown Massillon, it's because we're growing. Stop in and see our guys at Spirit of Stark on 409 Erie Street North. If you're in the spirit for that new look, head over to Studio Vibes and tell Allie the Stark Media Team sent you. We've rebranded the old checkered flag building at 256 Erie Street South as Simon Says HQ, featuring Copeland Paints, Brooklyn Rio Boudoir, Cherry on Top Logistics, Studio Vibes, and we are adding new tenants monthly. Speaking of new, have you seen what's coming out of the vault at the new Tiger Store at 59 Lincoln Way East? New game day prints dropping weekly with new store hours. Trust me, they can't wait to see you. Check us out on social media and find out what's new, or for occupancy and employment inquiries, email simonsayspromotions@gmail.com today.